Welcome back to Beauty Marks Podcast, a space where we embrace our marks acquired through our journey. My name is Elizabeth Savion, and welcome to another episode of this podcast. I am here today at Hi Hello Labs in a different studio, and I'm just grateful for partnering with them in this beautiful space. Make sure to check them out. And also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. All of that helps us to grow this podcast. And for this month that I am turning 3 years, that is like your gift to me, to be able to do that and to be able to share and rate and review the podcast, because that stuff all helps and it's like literally free to do, and that would help so much. So on today's podcast episode, I have a very special guest that was on here before, but she is back again, and we're talking about a few things about navigating your 20s, things that we're walking through. And I have my best friend Ashley here, so welcome back.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me again.
Now I feel like we're flowing because we already did one. Mm-hmm. I'm just really excited to have you back on to talk about just navigating your 20s and things that a lot of us have questions about. I did an episode on, feeling behind in life, the comparison trap, and like how sometimes like social media or outside noise can get to us. Have you struggled with that?
I have. Actually, me and you have many conversations about this, about how to shut down all these thoughts and the pressure that we put for ourselves. And I always tell you, like, I just wish I could just have this like soft girl life. Like, I want it so bad. But, there's a reality to it. And there is, bills that need to be paid, and you do need to work and all of this stuff. But yeah.
I mean, soft girl life. So there's like, I was looking actually for the definition because I'm like, does everybody know what that is?
No.
So I've seen different ones. So correct me if I'm wrong. Of what I understand as soft girl, it's like being more like in your feminine, being more like with rest and like just like taking things slower, like focusing on like yourself, personal growth, like, but not being so with like the hustle culture of, the push of like continuing to exceed in everything that you do, like kind of like the more masculine when they talk about like feminine and masculine roles.
I guess soft girl shouldn't be there included. I see it more because I don't see it as much as like gender, right? I see it more as a lifestyle. And there is the hustle culture, which is, for me, it's more the American dream, right? Which we want to work. And if you work really hard, you can have this amazing life, which is true. But to what cost? And that is my point. To what cost do I want the mansion and then be barely able to walk or super sick because I've lived and pushed my body for so many years under so much stress that now I can't enjoy what I have? So I'm 28, and now I feel like I am starting to try to find a balance because I am very much so like the hustle, whether it's not on me naturally, I don't think so. I just do it, right? Yeah. And me and my husband have joked like, should we just move? Because neither of us like it. Yeah, we like a more peaceful life, but however, we work 1 or 2 jobs. I go to school. I have a family. We have a household to run. So we have all of these things that in nature make you just go nonstop. Yeah. And it is very exhausting. It is very exhausting. And in one of my therapy sessions, she was like, you are so burned out. And I've never heard, I've heard about it. And so but I never really understood what it meant until I had to deal with it. And it's not a joke. Yeah. Burnout is an actual like very serious thing that your body feels, that similar to depression, I would say, because I've experienced
intertwined both. Yeah.
So I think they're very similar, where burnout is very scary. You start dissociating and you start like just like not even thinking. I would find myself driving home and I'm like, I don't know how I got home.
Yeah. You're like on automatic
all the time. And that's not healthy. I remember that growing up, my mom had the same lifestyle and she is so unhealthy right now. And doctors can say that it's pretty much just the result of stress over so many years. Yeah. That's what it does to your body. And I don't want that for myself. And it's really hard in this, like now, this life that we have now in age where you're told to do so many things at the same time. Like I'm 28 and how is it that I'm supposed to get pregnant, be married, get a college degree, work a 40-hour week, have friends, do extracurriculum things, like do all of these things in 24 hours.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
And stay happy and positive and sane.
Don't gain weight.
Yes.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Do your nails. Like, work out. Do all of these things.
Yeah.
The day is not long enough.
Yeah.
It's not long enough for all of those things. So I feel like it's picking and choosing what's your priority in life.
Yeah. What your ideal life looks like. Because I feel like I know that I have felt sometimes where I'm like in that comparison of like what I should be doing. But then when I sit down, I'm like, wait, I don't even want that. Like, that's not even like a value that aligns with me. So why am I like obsessing over trying to get this area when that's not even something that I want?
It happens.
Like,
it happens so much.
Stuck in things.
But social media doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
Because we have constantly telling our minds and our eyes in front of us what we should be at.
Yeah.
And the things like, I remember thinking like, I wanted this like big house. I was like, but I don't even like those houses. To be honest, like,
actually, I want a 1-story
like
house.
I want a 1-story house. My own, like, what makes me happy is I want land. I want animals. I want like to be able to open. No, I'm not gonna have a farm.
I mean, if you do, I'll go hang.
No, I don't. No. Maybe Ronnie, but I'm not having a farm. But I don't even like this like life that we are told we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
And I think that what helps a lot at this age, like I'm 28, and regardless how old you are, I think it helps to gain control over your mind and to ground yourself on who you are and daily remind yourself, who am I and why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Am I doing this for me or am I doing this for others or for where I'm told that I'm supposed to be? For example, I always tell Liz, I'm 28 and I haven't finished college. And for my family, that is something unheard of.
Yeah.
I know we have different
Latino
families.
Culture.
For my family, because I know for you, you were one of the first ones to finish college. Well, and my family was the other way around. My mom has a master's degree. My dad has a master's degree. There's 4 kids, and all of them have a bachelor's degree or higher education. And I received so much pressure in the beginning when I dropped out of school because I got married really young and I dropped off of school. And I remember that I was in this much pressure, and the person in me was like, because you're pressuring me so much, I'm not going to do it because that's just the rebel in me. And then
you're like, actually, I'm going to take my time even more.
I don't want to go to school anymore. But I knew that's something that I wanted to always do. It's just in the moment, we didn't have the financial support to be able to do that at the moment. When we were 20, we just got married. We needed to work. We now have a mortgage to pay. We have all of this stuff that I know in the moment. It wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
So when I decided to come back, the reality is that I am back, but I can only do 1 to 2 classes,
Yeah.
And that has something that I have learned about the power that we have over our minds, because I constantly have to remind myself, I don't know when I'm going to finish. And whenever I finish, I finish. That's it. Like, I'm not going to feel the pressure that I need to take 4 classes every semester while I'm working crazy hours at work.
Yeah.
For what? Because I don't even need it. I just want it.
Yeah. It's more for you now. It's not because of like what you felt like you had to get.
Yeah.
And it changed.
It changed.
And your lifestyle changed completely. So you can't.
No, I cannot. Not even if I wanted to. I can't.
Like, it's not realistic.
No.
I mean, because I went to college like in my early 20s. So like when I finished school by like 21, it was like, okay, now getting a corporate job. Like that's kind of the path that I was going. But I still worked 3 jobs during that time. Now that I look back, I'm like, I have no idea how I did that. So when people have like, if your parents pay for your college and you don't have to work, like that is such a blessing.
Take advantage of it.
Take advantage. Like if you're in your early 20s, do it. Yes. Like if you're still living at home, do it. Because we sometimes think that like, oh, like later on, and you can. Like you can always reinvent yourself. You can always do stuff. But it does have different challenges, And so I know that I've told you that like, girl, but what you're doing right now is like unheard of because like you're actually doing it while having other responsibilities. Like you're not just focusing on school. So like that is a reminder for you. It's like, and I know you do that to yourself. It's like, okay, this is my capacity. So if 2 is enough, like I will finish.
And
you are almost done. And you are almost done. I'm so proud. We're going to do a party. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're going to do a celebration. Because that's something else too. She doesn't like celebrations. I'm like really big on celebrating, but only because of how we were raised. I feel like that's a really big thing. And also celebrations for me, I think it's like I've seen so many people that like when people pass away, they like really like grieve them and they say all these beautiful things. And I see... But in real life, they don't. And that makes me sad. And I think that's really what it is. That I feel like there's so much like untold things in life and moments of birthdays, of big things that like people need to hear that. People need to hear how loved and how like amazing it is. Not like at the end, you know, like they're not even going to hear you.
I get it.
So I think that's what it is. It's a little deeper. But I still respect, leave it at that. But I still respect your thing. So like instead of throwing her like a huge party,
yeah, this is always a subject in conversation. Whenever my birthday is coming up, I'm like, remember,
no surprises,
no big parties. Like every year.
Yeah, so it is what it is. There's differences in all of us. But no, I am very proud of you. And you know that, but I want to say that I'm super proud of you of like the life that you built for yourself too, that looks how you want it to look. Not, you're like one of the friends that I have that I know that it's like, we are different in certain things, but I can see how like you're building the life that you want. You're not like so focused so much on what other people are telling you. Or even like I remember we talked about like designer bags. You're like, I will never like own that. No. Which I know for some people it's like, oh, how will you not? But it's like, those are all depending on what you value and like what you see. Like you rather go to Italy or like go to a European summer versus that, you know, and I respect that. Figuring out the life that you want based on how you see.
And like regardless, whatever you like, you know, that's just who I am as a person. But like, yes, I would never spend money on something like that, but I will blow it on vacation, no problem.
Yeah.
But that's just who I am. But that's why I repeat myself. I think that's really something like you. And it takes a while for you to find yourself. It really took a really long time for me to be able to like wake up and know exactly what I wanted to do. Like to wake up and respect myself and to know, okay, these are my goals. This is what I want to do and not anything else change it, right? It takes a lot of discipline to not let like social media, friends around you, all of it. Family, everything. Yeah. Like it takes a lot. Like, do I need a really expensive car? No, I don't need the really expensive car. I need to get to work and back. Right. And that's like discipline. Because can I afford it? Maybe. Should I have it? No. Like
you're like, which one?
No.
Which one? Yeah. And it's not to bash people that do have those things. I just think that that's what it is. It's like, I think how you get out of like that whole comparison or feeling like you're in that rush or hustle, it's figuring out for you what that full like life looks like. Because then you feel like if that's your aspirations to have the nice car set, then like everything's fueled by that. So like when you're seeing it, you feel fulfilled, you know. But if your thing is like more like I want a home and I want like a like trips yearly and I want then like as you're building that you feel fulfilled, you know. So it's like it is like figuring that out for you.
Yeah. And I think one thing is like we need to keep in mind that happiness is never complete.
Yeah.
It's not.
100%.
And everything comes with a cost. And I think in the hustle culture one of the reasons that pushes to live that life is that we want it all. And by all, we want the family, we want the job, we want the house, we want everything. It's like, that's what drives us, that we want all of it. And I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think that's the reality. In my opinion, it's like, something goes with the cost. Like, you know, let's say if I do want the big house, then something's going to have to sacrifice. I might not be at home as much because now I have to work to have this really big house, you know, or maybe I can settle for a smaller house, but I'll be at home more, you know, because I don't want to have to work as hard. Just something will always get affected. Like, I don't believe that happiness is complete.
Yeah. And that's why like joy is like something that I know that's what us as believers, like we do stay grounded on knowing like the joy of God, that he gives us like that contentment of being here now, you know, and being like grateful and seeing like what we do have, because we can get caught up in the whole thing of like the next thing and that. And it's like, we're not chasing happiness. Like happiness is literally fleeting, you know, because that's like a moment, like you get to where you want And then it's like, oh,
yeah,
what now?
And it's okay to have drive, because I think that's very necessary for growth in life. Because imagine you're 30 and you have no drive to go any further in life.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very healthy for us to have some type of drive and some type of always have a goal.
Yeah.
But it's a very slippery road when you want all of it and you want everything, or you have very unrealistic expectations of where you want your life to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think I've done that for myself, where like maybe when I was 21, I didn't think that I was going to be where I am at 28. Like I thought it was going to be a lot further, but that's just not the reality. Life happens.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened.
Yeah.
Where I don't necessarily feel bad about it. It's just that it's life. So it's like unrealistic to think that by the end of my 20s, I would have been like, if I could just talk to Ashley when she was 20.
You're like, ay, mommy.
Ay, Dios mío. If you only knew.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's just, and the pressure that we feel, where now I feel like I'm just letting it go. Like I do have my goals and I do have drive. However, I'll get there whenever I'll get there.
Yeah.
And if I have to stop for a little bit, I will. My family's my priority. My husband's my priority. You know, like that's first. Yeah. So if I ever have to take detours and do what I have to do, then I'll do so.
Yeah, that's real. I feel like some people, they think that like with having it all, like, you know, that's like the best thing, but it's like, it's true. Like that balance doesn't really exist. Like I really think like when I see things of like how to be like the most productive, most balanced, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that that's possible. And I've talked to a lot of people with that. So now in the idea of your 20s versus what you thought and the reality. I feel like for me, it's been more of like realizing that your 20s, like rediscovering, figuring out your things, figuring out your life versus having it all together, you know, which I think that like maybe our parents' generation, like they had their house and kids and all of that. So for them, like that was success in their 20s.
Yes.
So how has that looked like for you?
Very unique, right? And I feel like I've taken my life in a very unique path. Like I've said before, I got married very young. I was 20 and I didn't really, like at that point, I didn't really have a plan for my life per se. I just thought, to be honest, like in my 30s, I was going to be this business woman. That's what I had pictured. And it has taken me a long time to realize that that's something that I might not want. Or if I do, I want it part-time, but I don't want it completely. I think a lot of my joy comes from my family and time spent at home. That's not to say that I want to be a stay-home mom, but a lot of my joy comes from having the ability to be at home a little bit more. So what happens with that? Then I can't be full-time at an office job or this corporate girl 24/7. So I think that in the beginning of my 20s, I didn't know myself. And what has helped is to take the time and spaces to know yourself and explore what you like. Do the different jobs, even the ones that you don't think that you'll be good at. Do it. Meet people. Talk. Like find it out. And then you really get to know each other. I remember that last year I got promoted to be assistant manager at one of my jobs, and I had never knew that that's something that I would have enjoyed. And I actually enjoyed it, and I was like, oh wow, like this is something that comes easily for me that I actually do like. But it's only because the opportunity presented to me and I just took it, and I know and I have more of a vision where I want to go. But only because it's okay to try it out and to figure out what you want. Really, your 20s is just really figure out who you are. That's what 20s are for, I think.
Take like the riskiest thing, do the riskiest thing.
Say yes to most things.
Because it's like that's what helps you fully discover. So it's like a lot of us maybe have a lot of aspirations and we're like, oh, like I wish I just like had one thing. But it's like, no, like figure it out. Like go try different things. I mean, I think you're like a natural leader. So like that's great that you finally see that, because that's something that I've always seen in you. And I feel like that's where you thrive now, because like you see yourself in that. But I feel like that's the part that it's like us focusing on our strengths and realizing where we can flourish, you know, because sometimes we try to also put ourselves in a box. Like this is what this is like, since I was little, I wanted to do this, but then things shift. Yes. And then what do you do when you feel like you have to pivot again or start all over? Like, and that for me has affected me. And I've had to like learn to adjust or adapt or be like, well, I wanted this. I'm going to try this for a little bit. And something that my mom tells me all the time, she's like, Liz, try things for like 6 months, a year. And then if it's not, then change. Like, it's okay. Because sometimes we feel like if we're investing so much time, we have to like continue. But I know like with my marketing business, like a lot of stuff that I've done, I've tried different things. And I sometimes felt like I was kind of embarrassed to tell people because I'm like, they probably think I have no idea what I'm doing. And look, I don't. Help me. Girl, that's a real girl.
I remember when I took my new job, you were like, how are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, I just show up. I pretend like I know what I'm doing.
And that's it. I'm here. But that's really, I feel like what your 20s is. So if you're in that season of like still figuring things out, you know, like be easy on yourself to know that a lot of people in their 20s and 30s are still figuring things out and trying different things. And what you see of like the 2% on social media of people that are like super young and like super successful, like that's not most people, you know? And it's not that you cannot be aspiring, because you know that about me. Like I'm very like goal driven, like I'm very like deadlines and everything. But I've also learned to also like, it does affect my mental health when I'm continuously trying to like not to like go, you know? So I do have to take a step back and be like, wait, does this realign with what I want? And like, where am I at, you know?
And I think being individual, like with your own goals and things that you want. One thing that I do want to say, like if you're in your early 20s and you just got out of high school, we forget how much pressure that is. Like where you're supposed to, you're 18, you just graduated high school and you're all of a sudden supposed to know what your career is going to be, where you're going to live, what age are you going to marry. Like you're supposed to, you don't need to know it all by 19 and 20. It is okay. Like take it easy. That's why we say like the soft life. Take it slow. There's no rush. There's not. Like just take it easy. Like if I were to look back, I wish I would have enjoyed my early 20s more instead of being so consumed in like life.
What are the things that you feel like you cared so much about in your early 20s that now you don't?
For me personally, in my early 20s, I lack boundaries with the loved ones. So I was very consumed in providing and helping others around me. So I forgot about myself. So in my early 20s, I would say from age 20 to 25, around that time, I went through a crisis because I was really like, I would wake up and I remember that I would tell my husband, like, I literally feel like I just live for others. Like, who needs me today? I'm going to go to work and back, and who needs me? Instead of like really taking the time for myself, for me to grow.
Yeah. So now you're actually, that was one of your goals, or like where you're at in life. It's like, I want to have stress-free, feel peace.
Well, no needs to become your favorite word. It is my favorite word. I'm sorry, no, I can't.
Like when you started putting boundaries, I was like, I'm so proud of you. When you started being like, sorry, I can't today, or like, but it takes a lot of time because it feels like you're being like, it feels contradicting to who you are sometimes, but you still got to like say it and be like, wait, this is actually going to help me. It's not like we think from the outside, because it's sometimes hard to navigate relationships after you start saying no, but it can help your relationships see better once you start saying no.
Because you're better.
Yeah. So for this little segment, I wanted to do with my best friend questions that she can answer for me. It's for you guys to get to know me more, because I feel like she knows a lot of things. And this little test to see, right? So how would you, like, no pressure. If not, we're going to have, instead of best friend, it's going to be best. You're going to get best-ish friend. So the first question is, how would you describe me in 3 words?
I would say kind, compassionate, and happy. I always picture you happy, believe it or not. Yeah.
Really? Like you think I'm like, I bring joy?
You bring joy.
That's so nice.
Yeah, you're not like me. I feel like I'm like...
No. Honestly, I feel like you always say that about yourself, but you're not. I see you as confident. I see you as like established, like very like solid. And I do see you as a kind-hearted person, genuine.
Thank you.
Yeah. So those are my 3 words. What was the first thing you thought of me when we met? So that was 10 years ago.
10 years ago. I don't know. Okay. I don't remember having any specific thought about you. I just didn't think we were going to become friends.
But did you think I was opposite of you?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were so different from me. Like, I saw you very girly. Like, I don't know.
Still am.
You still, yes. And that's still a difference between me and you. Like, I am not very, like, out there with fashion and all of it like you are. But yeah, I don't think I thought anything specific. Like, it's like, yeah, she's nice, but I just didn't think that we would become friends.
I was intimidated by you because I feel like you're like more serious and you were like very observant of me. And I was just like, hi.
But that's crazy because that's impressions. I'm just naturally, like, I'm shy.
Yeah.
I'm shy, and I am a little bit more quiet until I feel comfortable.
For me, that was during my people pleaser stage. So I used to actually like get anxiety because people didn't like me, or I would sense people didn't like me. So I feel like low-key, I was like, did she not like me? I have to get her to like me.
And
so maybe the first beginning of our relationship was me more trying to kiss your butt.
Oh my gosh, your toxic traits coming out.
I think so.
Oh my
no,
goodness.
yeah, I really struggled with that in my early 20s. That was like teens. I was like 17, 18 during that time. No, I was 17, 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was young.
We're getting old.
So what is the most annoying trait I have? What annoys you the most that I do? Or that I say?
Your questions.
My questions?
Yes.
Like what
You're
questions?
definitely, okay, this is how you can tell you're going to be amazing at the path that you're going to. But Liz, as a friend or as a family member, she wants to know all details.
I do.
So I'm surprised you didn't ask what type of coffee I was bringing today. Like, at least you trusted me with that.
I've gotten a lot better.
Yes, she's gotten a lot better. Actually, you have. But I think in the beginning it was like, because I think it comes with the difference in who we are. Because I'm very laid back with a lot of the things. Like, if we're going to the beach, let's just say an example. I don't need to know all the details. We'll figure it out when we get there. Versus you, where are we going? Where are we parking? Where are we having lunch? What lunch are we having? Yeah. But after lunch, what are we doing? And what are we doing tonight? And like, let's just get to the beach. You know, like, which I think there's a click in our like personality.
Yes. We had a conversation about that I'm like, I want you to know when I ask questions because I genuinely want to know. Because you kind of were more reserved and you kind of felt like I was prying into your life or like asking too many things. I think it was like something like that. Like, it's like, you don't need to know everything. And I'm like, no, like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to come off that way.
No, I think I feel pressured. Yeah. Because I don't care about you knowing. But it comes more as a pressure.
Yeah. Of like, what is the next thing?
Like you said you were going to do it. What's going on with it? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
I mean, I'm a great like travel buddy though, because I do the itineraries and I'm great for events. So like, you see my strong suit.
No, of course I do. Of course. No, she is. So, you're the best travel buddy.
So that's the good. So where do you see me in 5 years?
TV. Yes. I so want that for you.
Yeah. Are you getting my +1 to events?
Depending.
If you take good pictures, I'll invite you.
Oh my goodness. Then I'm not going.
Pose. No, I have my little stand now. Okay. So I just will take that everywhere with me. Oh, yes, praying. What is my favorite food?
Do you have one, first of all? Because you have a few. I would say Mexican food, sushi, and pasta.
Yeah. I do like Turkish though.
You starting?
No, I've always liked Turkish. Mediterranean is like a top. Is definitely. I would say over pasta. I don't really eat pasta that much.
I feel like you
feel like I eat pasta?
No, I feel like you crave like Italian food a lot. Like you love mac and cheese. Absolutely love.
Okay, when it's aside,
you love cheese.
Oh no, I do love mozzarella sticks.
Oh my goodness!
I give you like a little mouse.
Yeah,
I love my cheese. That's for sure. Even though it's like really bad for your stomach. Where can you always find me? Where are the streets that I go or what I do a lot?
Honestly, that's a hilarious question because nowhere, because you're always at a different spot.
It's like, gotcha. You actually will never know where I'm at.
Still.
I feel like I'm always, but
you're always on the go.
Always on the go. Do you feel like I've gotten better though? I like a more relaxed, or you feel like I'm just...
No, you're just not. You've gotten better, but still like you're very on the go.
Yes, I do like going out. It's fun. What is the most fun memory we've had during our friendship, or your favorite memory?
We have a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
We do. I don't know why when you say that, the first thing that comes to my head is, were we thinking of the same one?
Is it the bear? The bear? Yes. I was literally thinking that. The fluffy bear that we spotted.
This. It's not even going to be funny
I know, it's not. It's not. But honestly, we were dying. We were laughing the whole time. We went to the beach. So we go together to the beach a lot, to sunrise or anything like things like that. And this day we were going to like a new beach that was a little bit secluded. And so we're getting like, this is like 6 a.m. And we're driving up to like where you pay for it. And then we're asking him like,
No. I
was asking him what kind of animals.
With the questions.
Because I want to ask. Because I think it was that you said.
But you have to, sorry to interrupt. We were driving and we saw something moving.
Yes,
like big.
Along the way.
Yes.
Of the beach.
And as we're driving and we're about to pay for the parking or the entrance ticket, I say, Liz, I think that was a bear.
Mind you, we're by the beach. Okay, we're by the beach. Like the ocean is over here. And like the woods, not even the woods. The thing is, she's like, oh, I got a bear. A bear. And I was like, wait, you're like, yeah, it was like small.
She asked the guy, she's like, excuse me, like, I just want to know, like, what kind of animals are there? And the guy was like, I don't know, like raccoons. And she was like, no, like something big and fluffy. And she's asking this guy at 6 a.m, what kind of animals are around the beach.
I was like, a little bear, like a little something small and fluffy, like black and fluffy.
Like
and he literally looked at us like, ma'am, we're by the beach. He literally, and we were dying laughing, like, we're idiots.
But I didn't think I was going to. Why did you ask him? Like, I would not.
Because you said there was a fluffy something running across.
I said, to make it even worse, I was like, that means that the mom is close.
Yes, yeah, that's like, you're like the mom. I'm like, there's a bear at the beach. So that's why I asked. Clearly, we need to know a little bit more about animals and their habitat.
Coming from me.
It was. Yes. You have those moments. So I feel like those moments, we crack up a lot about ourselves, or like clumsy moments that we're
really clumsy.
I have. I definitely feel like that's the fun. Like, I don't know about you, but like sometimes after we hang out, I like replay some of the things. Like, I remember something like later on in the day that happened. I'm like, oh my God, what were we doing? So I definitely think that we bring a lot of joy, a lot of laughter. We laugh at each other. We laugh with each other. And I think my favorite memories have just been like, yes, our conversations, like we always have great conversations and I always feel refueled by our hangouts. But also I feel like that I can really be myself. So like even when we, like, it's funny in the mornings when we like, or whenever we're about to hang out, like the first thing is like our outfits. Sometimes they're matching. Oh my goodness. Sometimes we're completely different, opposite vibes. So now we ask each other like, what's the vibe? What vibe?
Because I have the same vibe 24/7. So I have to ask you, what are you wearing? So then I can prepare.
Yes. Yes, we have that. So for my pink party, ma'am, we're going to get something go all out. Go all out.
I'm
pink.
excited for that.
Yes. No, but thank you so much for joining again.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah, literally the last time you were on was like 2 years ago.
A very long time ago.
So I'm glad that everyone got to know my bestie. She's awesome. And you mostly will see her around like my social media. Honestly, no, we don't post that much on social media together. Like we're best friends, but like we barely like post each other. Like she might post other people before she does me. And it's like, you might think that she has other friends, but I am her best friend. Okay.
She's like jealous about that. She's like,
I'm not. I appreciate you and I love you. And I'm thankful for all your support, like throughout the years, for this podcast, for like everything. You're always down for things. And, you know, I salute you for what you're doing too. Like, I'm excited to see how you're going to be like in the next few years and where you're going to go and like how our futures are going to align. Maybe get pregnant at the same time. Maybe travel to Puerto Rico.
No, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm the same. I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you for having me. And I'm very excited for you. Very excited to see where else are you going to go.
Thank you. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's podcast episode. I hope that you learned something, maybe had some laughs with us, and make sure to subscribe to this podcast, leave a review, and I will see you guys next time.